coming into your comfortable seat to begin practice today, whether that's cross-leg, finding something to sit on, a blanket, a cushion, sat up on the knees, however you like to begin your practice, finding somewhere to place the hands, and then either softening the gaze down and slightly ahead of you, or maybe closing down the eyes. Just acknowledging the environment around you. Noticing any sounds you might be able to hear. Checking in with how you feel. Maybe you're noticing if you're too warm or too cool. Maybe you've had a stressful day, or maybe you've had the best news ever. Or maybe you're excited for what lies ahead if you're practicing in the morning. But just acknowledge it. And then we're going to begin to bring the awareness towards our breath. Not changing anything, just noticing, just becoming aware of where in our body we send that breath. Maybe the tempo, is it quick, is it slow? And then if it feels comfortable for you, maybe beginning to deepen the breath. Lengthening through your inhales and your exhales, just to a point that feels comfortable for you. Knowing that this deeper breath is going to guide you through your practice. Bringing a sense of calm with the slower pace. Taking a couple of rounds in line with your own breath. And then as you're ready, just begin to flicker the eyes open. And to begin today, keeping a hold of that deep breath, we're going to come into that tabletop position, going to come into all fours. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hip points. And we're going to take that cat-cow that we visited already. So as you inhale, drop the belly down, gaze up, sending your tailbone towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, reverse that motion, tuck the tailbone in, sending the chin towards the chest, pressing through the hands and the feet. Inhaling, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, tucking that tailbone, pressing into the hands and the feet. Taking this at your own pace. Incorporating any additional movements you might like to take. Maybe if you're bringing the hips into things. Maybe taking some wrist circles as you move the spine through its inhales and exhales. And then in a second, we're going to meet back in a neutral position, back in that neutral spine. And we're just going to gently walk the hands up towards the hips. We're going to sit up, so as if we're kind of stood, but on our knees. Really weird way to describe it, but look at me if you're not sure. Oh, it's just the beginning of how weird this gets. And then all we're going to do today is we're going to step that right foot out in front of you. into that kind of right angle position, and we're in a nice low lunge here. There's lots of options from a low lunge. So as you inhale, you might like to bring the hands up overhead. You might like to clasp the hands above you, or maybe you'd like to open through the chest and through the shoulders, and you'd like to clasp the hands behind the body, sending those shoulder blades together and down the back. Have a little play, always remembering that thread on top of your head pulling you up, so nice and long through the spine, but have a little play with some hand placements. Really press through that front right foot and the top of the left foot, or if you'd feel a little more stable, you can tuck those toes. Engaging through the core here, nice and strong, and remembering your breath. Let's take one last nice deep breath in as you think nice and tall. And as you exhale, releasing the grip wherever you are, you're going to bring the hands to the mat, and we're just gently going to step that left foot up towards the top of the mat to meet the right one. We're not coming all the way up because we're going to stay down here for a forward fold. So bringing the hands down towards the ground, not feeling the pressure to have super straight legs here and be able to touch the ground. This might be the first time you've moved today, so we're just being gentle, we're being nice and mindful about how we move. So maybe giving yourself permission to bend through the knees here, bringing the ground closer to you by bending the knees, or if you have a block or a big book or anything like that, you can bring the ground closer to you that way. So bending through the knees, reaching for the ground, and then we're going to find a halfway lift. So inhale, bringing the hands either onto the shins or onto the thighs. We're looking for a nice flat back here. So your gaze is straight down, nice and long again, all the way through the spine. We're going to, whatever we do with the hands, we're going to bring the elbows in towards the body, send those shoulder blades down the back. Really nice, everyone. And then as you exhale, we're going to go back the way we came, so into that forward fold, bend through the knees. And this time we're going to step that right leg back out behind you, lower the knee down, and we've got a low lunge on the other side. As you inhale, send the arms up overhead. And again, just play with what feels good here. Maybe you'd like to place the hands where you had them last time, or maybe you'd like to try something different. Press through the top of that back foot, that right foot. Press through the left foot. So we're sort of, I don't know the word to use here, but we're kind of lifting ourselves up off the ground here by pressing through the foot on the front and at the back, and kind of lifting ourselves through. We're engaging through the core here, nice and long through the spine and through the top of the head. If you do ever feel like you need some more stability here, you can step that front foot out a little bit wider, and you might find the wobbles do stop a little bit. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to bring those hands back down onto the ground, either side of that left foot. And you've got two options. You can tuck the back toes and you can step that left foot back to join it, finding plank pose, or you can step them both back and meet into that all fours position. Ultimately, wherever you've gone to, we're all going to end up on our belly. So if you're in plank pose, just gently lowering yourself down all the way to the ground. And from here, we're going to end today in child's pose. So sending your bum back to your heels. We're going to find that nice child's pose position. Knees together, feet together, arms out long. Or as we did a couple of days ago, you can bring the big toes together and you can send the knees out wider for more of a stretch through the hips. just finding something that feels best for you and just tending to whatever your body is telling you it needs today. Walking the hands out long, allowing the forehead to come down towards the ground. Maybe it comes onto a pillow or a blanket. Always just giving yourself what you need and what feels most comfortable. There's always the option here if you would prefer to end in Shavasana. Just walk your hands forwards, roll onto your back, and find that lovely Shavasana pose. Wherever you're choosing to finish today's practice, just allow that deep breath that carried us through to melt away now. Return to your natural breath rhythm. And just take this moment to thank yourself. Just acknowledge rocking up again, just for a few minutes of simple, gentle movement. Prioritizing you. If you're in child's pose, feeling free to spend as long or as little as you'd like here. I will leave you here, so I'm just going to walk my hands back up, bring my knees together, placing my hands in the lap, gently flickering the eyes open. And I will leave you there. See you guys tomorrow.